Hey everybody, welcome. I'm pretty much going to do some show and tell today. I'm going to show every deck core that I have, talk about which ones are my favorite, which ones I will never get rid of because they are just my favorites, and which ones need to go like ASAP, like I don't know why I own these, and so forth. So pretty much got everything I own in terms of deck cores laying out here on this table, so I'm going to go through them one by one, talk about them a little bit, and say how I feel about the deck, whether I want to keep it going forward or try to get rid of it as soon as possible. So, yeah, I'm pretty much going to start from... Actually, I don't know where I'm going to start from. I'm going to start from, I guess, meta or like current relevant decks. I have a ton of cores that are just not good enough or are just waiting for support right now, but in the meantime, they're just going to be sitting and waiting. I pretty much have 3 nice deck boxes for my favorite decks, and then I have a whole bunch of these small Ultra Pro, standard deck boxes, and then I have this whole other organizing box for the kind of loose cores or cores that are not sleeved up or whatever. So yeah, that's how I organize my cores. But anyways, we'll start with the main one that is, currently the meta favorite, and that is going to be the branded deck. So branded is a deck that I really enjoy playing. It's just kind of like a pain in the ass to keep up with. Like, I don't play very much, so it's hard to keep up with the combos. I do have pretty much the whole thing. I just need a second Cartesia in order to play it completely, but because I don't really play that much and I like to play different decks every time I go to locals, it's getting really hard to actually go out and buy that extra Cartesia, because I would rather, instead of spending whatever $50 on a Cartesia, just go play a different deck that's been collecting dust, because I kind of feel bad about not playing it. But anyway, yeah, branded is a deck that I don't really see myself getting rid of because I own it in pretty much max rarity, except for some Starlights, of course. But yeah, I don't see myself getting rid of this because just the ultis are nice collectible cards, and I plan on probably playing or having access to this deck as long as I'm playing Yu-Gi-Oh! So, yeah, it's definitely in my top 5 decks that I own, and I don't see myself getting rid of it at any time soon. I might, like, sell off my Lubellion or something, and then wait for a reprint and then kind of re-pick it up later. But in general, I always plan to have a completed Despia core ready to go. The next deck that I want to show off, also nice and meta relevant, is Sky Striker. So Sky Striker is one of those decks that I thought I would love forever, but it's just kind of like, I don't know, slow. Every time I play it, I love it, but every time I'm like, I need to pick a deck. Hey, what deck am I going to bring to locals today? Sky Striker is not like jumping out as something that's a super fun time. So I don't know. I have it in, well, what was kind of max rarity, but now we have some like Engage 25th Century stuff, and I don't have Roses, and okay, I don't have it max rarity. My main deck is almost max rarity, but whatever, you get the point. It's kind of nice, and yeah, it's just a nice deck to have if I feel like playing Control. You'll kind of notice with the decks that I'm about to show that I tend towards like mid-range decks. Not super control heavy, not super combo heavy, so kind of like the mid-range is where I like to be. And speaking of mid-range, I think one of the decks that really emphasizes mid-range quite well is one of my 2 favorite decks ever, and one of the 2 decks that I guaranteed will never get rid of again, Plunder Patrol. I love this deck. I love how versatile it is. I love how kind of interactive it is and stuff like that. Artwork is fantastic. I just love the artwork of the ships. Mowerk, Bran, and Jord, and Lys. They're all such cool artwork. So it's such a cool theme, such a cool concept as well. And it's just like one of my top favorite decks of all time. And I plan on keeping that one around forever. So yeah, that rounds out deck number 3. Now let's get into deck number 4. This is the deck that I've most recently been playing at locals. And I think probably most recently put out a deck profile for it, and that is Scareclaw. So Scareclaw is another deck that is really in my wheelhouse in terms of kind of mid-range. It's like half combo, half control-y. You don't have to combo for like 10 minutes to get your end board. You can just kind of chill on, a couple minutes of combos, and hope to interact with your opponent, trade out, and so forth. It's not too much of sitting on a towers, in my opinion, even though Tryhard is almost a towers type monster, but I think it's like dealable. People aren't too upset when they're playing against Scareclaw. They're not like, oh my god, I have to deal with this bullshit deck. I think it's like fun, interactive for both sides, and that's kind of where my decks really lie. I'm not really a big Floodgate player. I'm not a combo for 18 minutes to get 18 negates player. I like it in the middle where there's interaction, there's like decision trees that have to be made and so forth. So that's where my top 4 decks are right now. And then my 5th deck, my favorite deck ever, will never get rid of this core as long as I own it, is Magical Musketeers. Now, unfortunately, Musketeers are in a shit spot right now. They haven't gotten anything that can help them in the last like 3 years since Max came out, and even when Max is out, it still wasn't good enough. So it's unfortunate because it's my favorite theme in the whole game. It's my favorite concept in the whole game, the whole column activation thing. You can pair it with anything. Super versatile. I have like 8 different Musketeer deck profile ideas on my channel right now. So if you're into Musketeers, go check those out. But yeah, these are my like top 5 decks at the moment, and then everything else is kind of just in the back, waiting for some kind of support or waiting for a reason for me to go play them, honestly. So yeah, this is the top 5. I think this is like tier 1 of my decks that I own. Let me get them in the frame a little bit better. And yeah, I'm really excited whenever I'm ready to play these. All right, now let me move down into kind of like my tier 2 of decks. These are decks that I own and I love to play, but they're just crap. We're going to start with Ninja. So I have a whole Ninja core, a whole Ninja deck ready to go, but unfortunately it's just, you know, it had its time to shine during like major Kashtira format, but Kashtira is only like 15% of decks being played right now, at least at the top tier. So Ninja kind of just gets crushed by everything else, and it's kind of just too slow for this meta. Even though they got some really cool support cards, I really like the idea of just attacking directly with Maizen, and I'm not ready to give up on it yet. Maybe there's some kind of like innovation that can be done with this deck to make it decent, or even just like if you have to play Floodgates, go ahead and do that. But yeah, I think Ninja is really cool in terms of a strategy, and it's got potential for being played in the future. All right, the next deck, which is kind of like actually a tier 2 deck in the real meta, but not really tier 2 in my favorites, is Marincess. So I do have a Marincess core, but I'm looking to get rid of it. I just am not having fun playing Marincess lately. It's too linear for my taste. You do the same thing basically every turn. You know, every turn 1 anyways, and it's kind of cool how you can break boards and stuff, but it just seems like so much work to get to the same things that other decks can do much easier. So for now, Marincess is kind of like on the way out for me. I'm just not feeling it. I'm not really having fun playing the deck, even though it's kind of cool. It's better than stuff like Mathmech, or like in terms of like my playstyle and what's fun. It's better than Mathmech, it's better than Adagnister, it's better than well, I've never played Salad. I think Salad would be more in my wheelhouse than Marincess, to be honest. But yeah, it's just a deck that I have. I played it, I took it to a regional and did okay with it. I have a profile out for that too. That was like a year ago, or I don't know, no, it was during a Shizu tier format. It was the first weekend of a Shizu tier. So yeah, it's cool, but I've had my time with it, and I think I'm ready to part ways. Alright, so this is one of my favorite decks, except I'm not good with it, and it's not good anyway. It's DDD. So DDD is so cool. I love the concept. It's my only Pendulum deck, and I wish I was like super proficient at it. If you want someone to go watch that's so good at DDDs, like the DDD YouTuber, it's Jacked Yugioh. I'll leave his link in the description. But yeah, DDD is just a deck that cannot really compete. It just gets too hurt by hand traps. It makes a really cool board. It makes it has really cool cards, really cool artwork. Really cool concept. It has like all these old scientists in the name. I think that's super cool as well. Just like a lot of history baked into the names. The artwork is phenomenal. If you ever like really look close at the artwork, it's so good. It's got some of my favorite artwork in the game, but unfortunately, it's just not really that good. Right now, it's not that good enough to compete. It gets hurt too hard by Bystials, unfortunately. So, yeah, DDD is kind of like in the back seat for now. They keep releasing some kind of like random support for DDD, so maybe eventually it'll get something to bring it back to the top tables or something. Here's another deck that I built, and it was just like, okay. And I didn't really have that much fun with it. It doesn't do enough right now, but it's got a lot of potential. It's kind of like my style of deck, so I'm kind of surprised that I didn't really take to it so much. And that's Earth Machine. So Earth Machine is kind of a cool strategy, but I feel like you just combo for like 10 minutes to put up like one interruption. So that's why I kind of like took a backseat from that. I feel like all the combo lines I was learning and all the work I was putting in to learn the combo stuff, it just didn't really give me enough. It just like put up like Anger Knuckle plus like draw 2, and I don't know. I just wasn't feeling that too much. I think it's just missing something from that deck, but I'm excited that I have it ready to go in case whatever that something is comes around and makes it really good. But I did get rid of my Reguluses, so I'm going to have to wait for the Megatins to get some new Reguluses in order if I ever want to play this deck again. So yeah, I just want to bring it up as an option, something I own, but it's not something that I'm currently playing. All right, and then the next deck that I just picked up at locals like 3 weeks ago, and I had no intention of doing it, but someone pretty much gave me a core for free. You know, not really for free, but at low trade value, is Dinomorphia. So Dinomorphia is pretty much my only pure trap deck in terms of, you know, a deck that would play maybe 20 to 25 traps. And I think it's really cool, and I think if I was to pick a trap deck, Dinomorphia would be it, just because it seems really awesome. I love summoning fusion monsters, so I would prefer it to Labyrinth. I would prefer it to Eldritch or any of the other options. I don't really know what other trap deck options there are. I might like Trap Tricks a lot, but yeah, Dinomorphia for now is what I'm sitting on, and I'm excited to sleeve it up and actually give it a go because I think it's a really cool theme. On to some other decks that I've never sleeved up or I don't play very often, or are just old and are not really relevant to the game anymore. And I'll start with Cosmo. So I have a full Cosmo core. It was one of the first decks I got when I got back into the game after taking a break for a couple years. And I'm excited to have it max rarity because if this deck ever gets support, these cards are going to go through the roof price-wise. But yeah, until then, it's just sitting in my box because Cosmo is unplayable right now, unfortunately. And I'm just going to sit here and wait for my Dark Destroyers to become meta-relevant again because these cards are so beautiful. And it's a really cool theme. Star Wars, who doesn't like that shit? So yeah, Cosmo's here. It's not going to get played anytime soon. Another deck I picked up really late is Tri-Brigade. I don't know if you guys can see, but this is a Shureg. But anyway, yeah, this pile is Tri-Brigade. I have the full pure Tri-Brigade core, and I think what's going to happen is I'm going to wait for Sprite to get reprinted, and then I'm going to play Tri-Brigade Sprite because it seems right up my alley. I picked this up actually right before Verte got banned, and they were playing like branded Tri-Brigade with Verte Anaconda, branded Fusion Mercury, or all that kind of stuff. But right when I got the whole core, Verte got banned. You couldn't play that anymore. Tri-Brigade went way back down to the irrelevant tiers of the game. So yeah, I kind of put it by the wayside for that until then. I never got into Sprite. Just because I didn't want to pay for that, and I chose to go with Branded instead as my meta deck for that format, and because of that, I can't really play Tri-Brigade Sprite because I don't own the Sprite cards. So once I start trading for the Sprite cards and so forth, I'll be able to play some Tri-Brigade. Here's some other decks that I have just laying around. I'm going to go through these a little bit quicker because they're not really relevant. I have Altergeist. I've had a core for a little bit since they were topping with Mystic Mine, but yeah, it's just super cheap. I have the whole core, and I'm going to get rid of it ASAP once the new Altergeist cards come out, because frankly they're garbage. So I do not plan on playing Altergeist. I just plan on getting rid of the core if I can for whatever value somebody will give me for it. I have True Draco. This is a True Draco core. By the way, like, what I do when I'm not playing cores is I take a penny sleeve and I just fill the whole sleeve with the deck core unsleeved. So yeah, it holds about 20 cards or so. So it's a really nice way to keep your deck cores together, keep similar cards together, and so forth. So yeah. Anyways, that's how I sort that. I don't really care for True Draco. If they get support, I'll play it, maybe. Seems the artwork is really cool, so that's why I like it. But for now, it's too cheap to get rid of, and it's too irrelevant to play, so I'm just gonna have to hold it. I also have Shadal. So I picked up Shadal when Trap Shadal was really big because of Pack. And I actually played that for a little bit, but since then it's kind of just sitting here. I am picking up the tier limit deck, so I might try to squeeze a little bit of Shadal Engine into tier, but for now Shadal is kind of just sitting here waiting for something to make it relevant again. Another deck that I'm waiting for something to make relevant again is Orcas. So I have a whole max rarity Orcas core here with all the super main deck guys, and I have the Ulti Galteas and Dingirsus, and they're just waiting for Harp Horror to come back, man. So yeah, once Harp comes back, I'm either going to sell the deck or play it. I can't really decide right now. I'll have to see where the prices are at and see what or how I feel about playing the deck, but right now I'm just sitting on it. I also have a Gladiator Beast deck, so I was picking this up for Edison format, I believe, or which of the formats? I don't know. I was picking up Glad Beast cards, secret rare Glad Beast cards, so I do technically have a Glad Beast core. Unfortunately, they are super irrelevant in today's metagame, but you know, it would be so cool. I love the concept of these guys. I love the artwork of these guys. The whole like Latin name stuff is super cool, and their fusion support cards are really nice artwork and all that kind of stuff. So if they were to become relevant again, I am prepared, but I don't see it coming. Another deck I have full core of that I bought like 3 years ago and never played it is Crusadia. So sitting on a Crusadia core for no particular reason. And then some other like engines that I have sitting around. So I have a Predaplant engine, almost full. I need to finish that off, but if I ever wanted to play like Predaplant branded, like I think Pack and I don't know, Jesse Cotton played at YCS Hartford like a year ago, I want to have that ready, so I have that here. I have most of a Kashtira core, but I actually just sold my Theosi. Yeah, I don't know. Cash doesn't really interest me right now. I'd rather play branded anyways, and I want to get rid of those cards while they're expensive, and maybe, you know, of course I'm keeping my Fenrirs and stuff like that because they're just generically good, and I play them in Scareclaw, but I don't need all the cash-specific cards like Theosis and Arise Heart and stuff, so probably going to be selling that. I have most of a Goaty core, which is kind of cool. I don't really know how to play Goaty or what to do with Goaty, but I have it ready to go. I have most of a Speedroid core as well, just because I was interested in the Speedroid Kashtira list that Winter Kills was playing lately on his channel, so I have that ready to go. And then I don't know why I have this out, but I have a Fire King core, and I heard Fire King's getting new support, so I'll just sit here with that as well. So most of these are like okay in my opinion. I'm ready to sell a lot of them, but you know, these top five, this row in the top here, probably gonna keep indefinitely. This next row I'm also probably gonna keep indefinitely, but just wait for you know, some kind of reason to play these decks. And then these bottom rows are either like so irrelevant, or they're waiting for some kind of support, or I'm just looking to sell once they get support. So after I stopped recording, I realized I missed two decks, and these are two like in the kind of tier 2 area, decks that are just not good right now, but I am excited to play if they ever get support. And the first one is Infernoid. I love this deck just because of the artwork is just so damn cool. I've had it for a long time before any of the reprints, so I got the ultis, the ulti Anunkus, the ulti Tierras, and I am just ready for this deck to be something relevant, something playable. So yeah, put Infernoid into like the tier 2 area, and then also another deck that I have, it was in my binder, which is why I kind of forgot about it, but Mechanites. So Mechanites is just super cool strategy. I have like all the other common stuff in my box, but yeah, I have the purples and the blues. These artworks are just so cool as well, and if Mechanite was playable, I would definitely be interested in playing that. So yeah, these are just 2 more decks I wanted to throw in before I forgot, and you know, gotta give them a little bit of respect because I love these decks, and just waiting for them to be playable, essentially. So yeah, yeah, that's pretty much my deck profiles, my 20 decks that I own for the modern-ish game. Not all of these are modern, but yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know in the comments, what decks do you have? How many decks do you have? How many do you keep up to date? Basically, I keep my top 5 here as up to date as possible, and yeah, everything else is kind of just sitting waiting for some kind of update, some kind of reason to build those. So do you want to see deck profile for any of these? Let me know in the comments. I will do my best to give the most up-to-date profile I can. But yeah, we'll see you guys soon. Hope you guys enjoyed.